Okay.
Didn't you say, oh, I can't use this Casio?
Oh no.
No, you guys always say that, but I actually enjoy it.
I made actually a petition and the use of the Casio, and I have quite a few signatures. Let's see.
Mr. Ward, can I check? My guy wanted.
I have 7 people that have signed the petition to abolish the use of Casio,
All right.
and their phone numbers and lunch numbers.
Right on there? I'm pretty sure most of them same phone numbers.
Yes, you are on there, and you said Casio.
Okay, now, if you were not paying attention, we did have page 614 that is due today. Some point today I'm caricaturing at 7:59 tonight, because I'm here for all that time because of parent-teacher conferences.
Oh my!
But at some point, it's due today, before I leave, okay? So make sure you're getting it done, wrapped up. I know some people like to work on it a little bit later during the sale, but it needs to be turned in today. Okay, here we go. We're on section 5.3, or not 5.3, 6.1. What am I doing? Too used to what I've been writing. All right, 6.1, law of sine. Okay, we have two examples I'd like to go through today. Kind of an easy problem, kind of a more challenging problem. I want to kind of discuss these. Again, it comes down to knowing if it's a single solution problem or 2 solutions. We're going to talk about that if it has 1 solution or 2. And how do you actually solve it and what do you need to do. The goal today is to completely solve a triangle all the way out. Hey, you gotta stop talking, please. Okay, so this is our goal. Formula today, here we go. If you don't have this written down, it's on your property sheet, but it's a little bit different on your property sheet than what I'm writing up here, because they use the actual angles that are on the picture, like lambdas, alphas, gammas, betas, whatever they have. But these are the actual like items that I'm using for the law of sine. I truly believe this is the go-to version of the formula to find missing parts of a triangle. Again, oblique triangles are random. They don't have to be, right triangles. They can be completely random, like obtuse, acute right. It does work for right triangles, by the way. It can be for isosceles, equilateral. It works for any type, as long as you understand what you're given. So let's do an example here, and I'm going to try to show you the different types of triangles you can work with. Okay, all right. The versions you're going to have today. These are the 2 you can actually have. Okay. Side angle side. This is something that we can actually use to actually find missing parts. Now, let me talk you through why today this is not one that I'm going to assign to you. Let me explain. You can solve triangles with this, don't get me wrong, but I want to talk about why you wouldn't use this formula. Okay, so I'm just going to make up numbers and then we'll get to actual examples today. This is something we're going into later. 7, 10, 13. Okay. Let's say that this is our setup. Okay, and I want to find, missing parts like this one. And the problem is when we have this, you don't have enough information to actually solve it. There's not enough in there that you can use.
We need an angle for
something. We don't have the angle that's across from 10 or the angle across from 7. So when you actually try to set up your law of sine, you're going to be missing these angles to set up like an opposite. Because when you set up a sine of an angle, you have to have its opposite wall, let's say. Well, the problem is I don't have it. And when I try to set up the other one, like sine of 13, I don't have its opposite wall across from it either. So like for right now, this particular acronym is not something we can actually do yet. Or the other version.
Are we eventually going to be able to do that?
Yes, that's later this week.
Oh, Mr. Ward, it's going to be tough.
Now, the other example would be this one. This is one that as of this moment, we can't solve yet. SSS, where they give you 3 sides. So, 3 sides, let's go 4, 6, and 7, fine. Okay, so if this is my triangle, I can't solve this one yet either, because if I try to do the law of sine, I don't have any of the angles in the corners.
It's going to be bizarre.
So I can't do it. So there's no way I'm going to be able to attempt this problem. There are certain methods we can use later this week. I'll show you kind of some tricks and tips that we can do. But there's completely different formula that we would actually use on these.
Will you use CPC?
Okay. Yeah.
I
So,
love that.
okay.
I missed that job.
Okay, does everyone understand why I'm throwing those out though? Okay, because I gave you the list of acronyms yesterday, and it was a little misguided because
So much.
because I was kind of giving you the idea of what we're doing this week and not what we're able to do now. The problems we're able to do right now are these.
The AS.
Yeah, so it's AS, and angle, side angle. These two are really the two that we can actually accomplish right now. And there's the inappropriate one, which is kind of a rare case. So this is a special case that we can do in certain forms where they actually have more than one answer on that one. Those are the two. Now, I wasn't trying to mislead you yesterday. It was just that we have the acronyms from geometry, and certain ones as of this moment we're capable of. But eventually I will show you that we can find other ones as well. Like we'll come back to this problem. So if somebody actually has this written down, this is something that I will try to bring up. I will try to bring this one back up later this week to show you that it is possible, but not with this set formula right now. Does that make sense?
I'm gonna write it down.
Here, Mr. Ward, I'll just take a picture. With what cellular device? This one. That's a calculator. It has.
Okay.
It has.
Hey, are we good with the two examples I'm going to try to avoid for right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the actual problems I want to talk through today.
The ASS.
Yeah.
What is that?
The inappropriate acronym. Okay.
Is that it?
It's purple.
Okay, this next example is one that I'd like to have in your notes somewhere.
Alright. I see this.
All right, here we go.
One gun.
12. Ray, have a 22 mini. 29.
All right, this is a type of problem that they would actually have letters on this thing like A, B's, and C's. I'm just going to put X, and Y, and Z, where they want you to solve the triangle completely. Okay. Okay. This one, I'm gonna try to walk you through the steps. If you were to have a problem like this, what you need to do.
Oh my.
If this is your triangle, you can actually find the missing angle at the top because triangles have to add to make 180. So in theory, if I add these together, it's 110. So then, yeah, this angle that's left would have to be 7, right? Now, the reason being, all triangles, it doesn't matter if it's obtuse, right, acute, they always have to add to be 180 degrees on the interior angles.
Why is that?
So, it's because of the way that parallel lines work. So,
Well, they don't parallel
exist.
lines exist, actually.
in 2D space they would, but not in 3 dimension. So, but anyway. Okay, so does everyone understand how I found the missing angle though? Okay.
Yes.
Even if you're doing this other version, this one, doing this other like angle side, you're still allowed to do the same exact math. Because when you actually looked at my start of my problem, here's what I had. I had angle, I had a side, and an angle. Okay, so that was my setup. So I knew that I could find the other angle, and then from here on I can do the law of sine. Now, if I had the other version, which was angle, side, it would be like this: 70, 50, and the 12 here, and I could find the mystery angle because this is angle, side. I can find this one, which is 60, and now I'm back in the same problem again. So it didn't matter the actual setup, as long as you understand that you need at least a couple angles in the problem, or at least, a single angle, and you can find the other ones. So it was just one of those things that, when I look at one of these problems, I look to see, do I have at least one angle?
We have an angle.
The wall opposite of it,
And
and some other piece. So, and that's what I'm looking at. So like when I started this problem, knowing that I could find this mystery angle and find the wall opposite of it, that's all I really needed. Because if I have any other parts of this picture,
We got it.
I'm good to go. I can actually go find the remaining parts. Because this will set up one of my, what I call the anchor fractions, where the anchor fraction has both numbers in it. So like for instance, sine of 70 over opposite wall.
Then we got sine of 50 over x.
Just waiting on people are talking.
Corey, can you?
Hey,
Josh,
quiet down, I'm trying to learn.
Okay, so sine of 70 over the opposite wall. I'm going to go after the small wall. It doesn't really matter which one I go after next. I'm going to go sine of 50 over its opposite wall, which in our case is a y. And so you're going to cross, multiply, and divide. And this, it should be as easy as typing your calculator, doing the actual proportion here. So 12 times the sine of 50. And then you're going to divide by the sine of 70. And I get, my y would have to be a 9.78. I'll go 2 decimal places for right now just to make sure it's kind of accurate. Alright, questions on how you actually solve for y though. I start with the number above or below your variable. You cross, multiply, and divide. Now, I didn't have to do an inverse sine button or anything. I'm not trying to find angles. I was actually given an angle, so I'm good.
You were given 2 angles.
Yeah. Alright, next, let's go to the next part here. So if I'm going to go to the next variable, so I had this one, this is 9.78, and that angle is 70. I can now go after the x now by doing the same exact math. The only thing I'd have to change would be this part right here. Just replace the 50 with the 60, and now I'm doing the exact same problem again. It's pretty easy to set up because I have the sine of 70 over opposite wall, sine of 60 over its opposite wall. So this would be my x in my case, and I can go ahead and I can solve that one. So, and again, the beauty about doing this, if you have your calculator like a scientific calculator, you can just bring up the last problem you just did and just replace the 50 with the 60 and hit enter, and it tells me this has to be 11.05 or 06. All right, now, when you're done and you have this completed and finished, however you want to say it, you have to double check if your numbers even make sense. The biggest wall should be the 12. The other wall should be smaller because why the biggest wall is 12, it was opposite the 70. The other wall should be in the same ballpark because 50, 60, and 70 are all roughly the same angle, so the wall should be roughly the same. And yeah, they all make sense that they're all kind of roughly the same styled number. They're going to be decimals, we know that. But do 2 walls add to make more than a third? Yes. Check, is it a triangle in the first place? Because maybe you're doing all this work and it's not even a triangle because the numbers don't make sense. Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
What's it mean when you say like a ballpark?
You're really close. You're really close to the actual number.
Okay, I knew what it meant. Why do they call it that?
No, it's just a term that
What, triangle?
A ballpark. You're in the ballpark. You're close. You're close to a home run. Close.
see the.
No, maybe look it up. I'm sure there's a reason on Google.
Can we do the inappropriate one?
Yes, we're gonna do that next. Okay.
Will you put it actually how it is?
No. All right. Hey, does everyone have this example written down? If you don't, you're gonna want to put it in your notes somewhere, especially the math that I did to find the walls.
I never really
The activity you're gonna be doing today is actually solving for all the parts that are missing on a triangle.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna let you write that down. If you don't need it, we're gonna move on.
do you
I was like, oh my gosh, she's like, come back.
Okay. All right. So. All right. Let's do the next one, the inappropriate acronym one. Now, this problem will potentially have two separate answers because of the angles that we're going to find. So we'll have to double check. Does it have a second second option? How do we know all that good stuff? Okay. So what are we at? We're at side angle. All right, and again.
call it the side angle one. Why do you say inappropriate acronym every single time?
It's just, it's not appropriate.
Okay.
Huh?
Let's call this
S,
A, B.
That way
Yeah.
it's not.
Stop. Guys, come on.
Seriously, pay attention.
I want to get through this today. All right, angle here. Let's go with 80 degrees. Just kind of pick a random angle here. 80. Let's go with the wall next to it. Let's say this is 22 feet. And the wall over here, let's say this is,
No.
35.
35.
let's go with 13. I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. Okay,
That's gonna be a huge thing.
now, when we get done here, we have to be kind of thinking out loud what we're gonna have. The angle B, before we start, what can you tell me about angle B?
Has to be pretty big.
It has to be big.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gotta be larger than 80.
Yeah.
But it can't be 100. Because if it's 100, then there's no angle left for the third
Oh,
one.
wow.
But it has to probably be above 80, because the number is larger than 13.
It's deceiving. It can be brought down into a little picture. And it does have two answers. C
So,
and B.
that's what we're gonna check. We're gonna see, does it have two potential numbers?
No.
And if it does, how do we solve both? I'm gonna show you if there's only one though. So, okay, so let's walk through this one. So, to set this up, I'm gonna find this angle first. The reason why is that it's really the only numbers I have on the picture. So sine of 80 over its opposite wall, which is the 13. Sine of what angle, let's call it angle B. You can call it X if you will, but it's sine of B over its opposite wall. And in this case, when you cross multiply and divide, whatever this number turns out to be, whatever that digit is, you have to set it equal to the sine of angle B. Because we'll have to take the inverse sine of that to find an angle. Now this number, when you actually cross multiply and divide, this better be a number less than 1. How I know that is that if this number is less than 1, that's when you can take the inverse sine of it. If it's bigger than 1, it'll say error and you don't have a triangle. So we're trying to hopefully avoid situations where it doesn't make a triangle like it doesn't
I don't know if I
work.
did that right, but I got 1.6.
Okay, so 22 times sine of 80 divided by 13. Yeah, I got 1.6.
That's a domain error.
So what we have here is we're getting 1.66, whatever it is, 666.
6597736. if you
And
want to
like
be
we
precise.
said, when you try to take the inverse sine of this, and that was the thing I was warning you of, when you try to take the inverse sine of this, it says domain error. Now, why it's doing that, why it says domain error, is because the numbers I have on the picture don't even make a triangle. Because there's no way that you can have a triangle with 80 degrees sitting here and have a 22 and a 13 and all the walls connect. The beauty of doing the math I'm showing you is that I can actually prove the fact that you actually get errors and that's not an actual triangle.
Oh my god. You just subtract 270.
Now,
Why?
let's go to the original number that you guys were created. I think you guys were saying like 35s and other things like that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So if we go with the 35 route, the number that we have here should work. Let me explain. The 80 is probably going to be one of the larger angles of this triangle. So by doing the math right now, we should hopefully get things that work. So I'm just going to bring up that problem I just did, but replace the 13 with 35. And yeah, the number we get now actually does work. We get this on my calculator, and now I can take the inverse. Hey, oh, thank you. Okay, we can actually take the. Yep. Thanks. We can actually take the inverse sine of this problem,
I got 30.
and we can get an actual number. Now, the reason being is that if 80 is actually your largest angle in this triangle, it wasn't going to give me a domain error because this should be a triangle in the first place. That's why I was avoiding your 35. I want to show you if it doesn't work out to be a triangle, it would actually tell you that right
I
away.
was a
Why is
square.
this not a
So,
triangle?
but inverse sine,
38.2.
0.619. Yeah,
It's hard
38.2.
congruent.
Okay. 38.2 degrees. Okay, so this is 38.2. Now, well, the thing is, and the thing that I was telling you, like, how do we know if it has two answers or one? The trick is, if you want to see, does it have a second triangle? And it doesn't in this case, but I want to show you. If it does, here's how you check. You take this number that you just got, you take 180 and you subtract it. 38.2. It's always 180 minus the number you just found. And if this, this angle, it turns out to be like a 141.8 or something like that, if I can do my math right in my head.
Yeah, probably.
All right, is it? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, so I'm typing it in.
Big time.
I'm confused.
141.8. If you're actually doing that subtraction and you get that number, can I actually make a triangle with that number, the 80 and whatever this mystery angle is? No, because I'm already over 180 degrees. So this isn't possible to take the 180 and subtract the number you just found. So there is no second triangle here. So this one only has one solution. Even though it was the wrong acronym, there's potential where it only has one triangle because of the way the numbers are. Now, if this number would have been smaller, you might have been fine. But the way that it's working out, it doesn't have a second one, and that's how I check. Whatever number you found for the angle, you take 180 and you subtract it. Again, you only have to do that on this case, which is the angle side to side. That's the only one we have to check. Now the last part we do is we find the mystery angle down here. Now that we know there's only one triangle, say it again. 61.8. And now I can go after the wall that's opposite of it. And I can do all the math that we normally did. Okay, is everyone kind of understanding what I'm doing here though? Like how I'm finding it? And how you can check if there's a second one? Alright, I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to finish that one because you guys know how I can type it in. Okay, our group activity today. I'm gonna have you group up with one person of your choice.
Justin.
Okay? One person of your choice. Now there's one group in here that will have to be a group of 3. So I don't really mind who it is. Now, okay, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna give your group a problem. One of these. You can actually write it right on the paper itself. You only get one. I would like your group to attempt to try to solve out the triangle and find all the missing parts.
We would love to.
If it's possible. If it's
Give us one
possible.
that's not possible.
There might be one.
Can you give it to us?
Okay.
JP, we're gonna solve quick like a rabbit. Okay.
We have the other angle.
Yes.
What is
Are you guys?
6?
Yes, 9,
Okay,
8.
are you guys?
Getting that. 3.
Can we do it on the
Leave it.
TV?
So we have sine.
You know the dust. I think that's the right answer. So if you get it, you just talk
It was really hard to turn and then I turned it and then
Sine 40. And I'll do the other one. I'll do the other one.
I guess it won't ruin it.
Still water. So you put it down. Otherwise, just go through a water filter.
Switch out from it. But I want to relax them.
No, not that water. Go with anything that goes through your water filter. So if you have like a water filter, just still water the maximum or
You're not even in sports. I don't do that.
we are finished. Okay, good. Over there and check.
I gotta check that demo for
Sorry.
There's like 2 kills.
Imagine if in game when you jump
Well,
on that
that
would
would've
have
been-
hold like a submachine gun out.
No, if I would have been on Xbox, we would have won. Because those 2 guys had no idea I was there. I would have pumped one of them, pulled out my tack, and killed the other one. But on there, I was like, oh.
Yo, the wall.
It makes sense.
Okay, check.
I mean, it's a fairly big angle.
Dollars, not cents.
Dollars.
A squared foot.
I make dollars, not cents, dude.
Can I go check if I got that?
No, it doesn't. What's your problem?
Do you have anything else for me to do?
Tiffany and I already got it down.
Just wait.
We're making more, you know.
Okay, let's do it.
You gotta find all the missing parts.
I was going to pause.
It's like 2 guys in the head, and
Yeah, but after after that. Ran up, killed another dude. And then I was just sitting there trying to kill his friend. I didn't think anyone else was around. This dude's sitting on stairs on the side of the hill. Looks at me, snacks me twice, and I die. And I'm like,
First kill of the game.
That was
This
his
guy
first
like
kill.
was camping the whole game. Killed me at the end.
I died to a trash.
Actually, you don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to work with it. What?
Okay, it would really hard to determine like plays and then that.
It's like a big one.
It's like right, all of, like, it's right on the
Swear to
wall.
God.
It really is.
Joseph.
Hey, the good part is it'll.
A 10 killed,
I was like,
Just
dang.
you're at risk.
You could have got a 2 kills.
But I just got one by myself.
But here's the thing, just making sure.
Was it my fault that you left or from mine?
I couldn't remember.
One of them was demonic. When the first one died. One of them was like demonic. Was like, did you get a big AR?
Yeah, I know.
Damn, Sam.
How come your triangle's so big?
Probably.
You're not a little bit more right here. You're expected there.
I boxed them.
This one isn't waterproof, like not at all. And
I don't have it. Lord, we did it.
it has no rubber gaskets on it.
What's the brand of this?
Okay, you guys know about this?
Yeah.
Are you gonna hurt?
60 something, yeah.
69.
I am 30. But I also got some pretty easy stuff. And I go off. I go off and get easy stuff.
What's the
real
spinning thing
question
called?
is there any
One
difference in
easy
how
stuff.
What's the spinning thing called?
Jiggle around.
I had to do all of it.
I damaged all those guys. Is there any difference?
Not all of them. Not all of them.
I at least damaged 2 out of the last series. I don't know if I did.
There was 4.
Nice.
There was 4. I killed one immediately.
I still damaged 2. I know one.
Okay.
Because one dude was just like healing, and then he built a door.
Alright, hey, okay, we only have a select few groups. I'm gonna put your problem on the board. I'd like your group to come up here and kind of walk through the numbers and see if it makes sense. You don't have to show all the work you did. Kind of walk through numbers, and then every once in a while, I will ask you how you found something you have to show me. Okay, so your group better be ready to go here.
Good.
And we're only gonna do a select few problems, so I'm picking groups at random. Now, hold on.
We wanna go.
So hold on.
We volunteer randomly, so I volunteer as tribute. Primrose everything.
You can't deny it.
Okay, hey, I'll put it up there. You don't need to draw it.
We'll draw it.
No, I'll
You better highlight it once
You
it's
don't need
up
to draw
there.
it.
So don't draw it.
You don't need to. I'll just
You
put it up.
better erase
But we can.
We're gonna color it like Mr.
Okay, hey, what were your numbers on your triangle?
1,000? No, where?
Which popping up here in a second. Hold
You
on.
want our answers or no?
Don't
One
look
with
at the
43.
answers, don't cheat.
Okay, the one with 43. Alright.
Dude, we're gonna have to color our stuff.
Mr. Water, ours has 43. Hopefully it's the same one.
What is this?
I don't know why I always thought that was
Okay. Is this your first turn?
That appears so.
Yes.
Okay, let me zoom in. Perfect. Go ahead. Fire away. Here we go.
What's
Well, no, you have to tell them how we got.
Well, see, we took 180 and subtracted 98 and then subtracted 43.
I'll show you the steps. Oh my God.
What's the answer? 39. So now we take the
39.
Now, before you guys get too far in depth,
Right.
what type of triangle was it in the beginning? What was the acronym that you were given?
Triangle.
Yeah, triangle. What was the acronym that you first started with?
Angle, side, angle.
Okay.
Angle, side angle.
Angle, side angle, is the very bottom. The numbers are given. So we know that we have triangles we can actually solve right now. Okay, keep going. Give me the answers for A and C and we're good.
And C. So we have to show
Jesus, I broke it.
sine over.
I don't know.
Then we have the sine
It's a mess.
of
You might want to write it.
43 over the x. We're gonna do this thing called the fish method.
Hey, quiet down.
And what do you get?
And what do we get, Justin?
What we get, where?
We're doing the sine of,
Are we doing A or
we're doing
C?
C.
C is 23.841534667.
It'll still stick those.
You forgot a 4.
Alright, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Alright, so now we have the sine of 39 over 22. Then we have a line. Sine of, what is it? 48.
You'd have to be verified.
No, 98 over x. Then we're going to do the fish method. And
You have to draw.
What is the fish's name?
Okay, so if you give me the answer.
34.61813382.
There's no 7.
There's a 7 right there.
No, there's no sevens.
And as you can
Okay.
see through our marvelous work,
Hey, put that back. Alright, put that back.
oh yeah, it's up here.
Okay, very nicely done. Give him 2 claps. Alright, let's move on. Next group, who wants to volunteer as tribute?
Let's go.
Go.
Okay.
Go, Tori.
Go.
I labeled our answer.
Alright, here we go. Okay, which triangle do you guys have?
Definitely not that one.
We're not going right now.
We volunteered.
No. You hold it.
Oh!
That one. Don't move.
Okay, you guys go next.
Triangle.
Alright, give me that thing.
Should have labeled the bear.
Alright, you guys gonna be ready to go next?
You need a label.
Yes.
Okay, good.
You need to write
Okay.
you wish you were which.
Alright, here we
I
go.
just need to know what triangle that was.
Angle, side.
Hey, hey, pay attention. Okay,
Angle.
perfect. So how many answers are you guys gonna have?
2.
How many?
Oh, 3, I lied. Another angle. Okay. See.
Okay, good. Got 3 numbers I have to find. Alright, go ahead, fire away.
180 minus 50 minus 30.
Oh
my, that's 100.
Boom.
100.
Keep going.
And then you take the sine of 50
Yep.
over 10 equals the sine of 30 over c.
Yes.
And you get
Fish method.
6.53.
Yes.
Now, does that number make sense?
No,
Yes, it does.
Why?
I like
Because
it to
this
the 9th
angle is
decimal.
smaller than this angle, so this wall is smaller than that wall.
Boom. Keep going. Very nicely done. Keep going.
Okay, and then we took sine of 50 over 10 equals sine of 100 over b,
And you solved it.
and we got 12.86.
Now, does that number make sense?
No, it should
Yes.
be the 9th
Why?
decimal.
Because this angle is bigger than this angle, so this wall is bigger than that wall.
Good. Thank you. Very nicely done. Last group as tribute. Here we go.
Oh, we didn't even get a clap, you jerk.
Oh yeah. Hey, 2 claps.
No! I'm gonna take a deep.
Very nicely done, ladies. Very nice.
Thank you.
We never talked about the whole thing on.
All right. Hey, what was the problem again?
I got the first.
32.
I did at the end of.
I love this one.
Okay,
That one?
No,
So-
32.5.
no, not this. So what we're gonna do here, so,
Right there.
All right. Here we go.
so what we're gonna do for this problem, we're gonna take 180 minus 49.7.
What does that represent?
Also, this is an angle. And we're also going to take it by and then subtract, we're also going to subtract 32.5 to get the answer 97.8.
Go. Keep going.
Next thing we're going to do, Tori, we're going to sin 32.5 over 2,208.
208.
228 equals sin 97.8 over c.
Okay. What do you get? Cross, multiply, and divide.
If we fish method, we put the draw the fish, sorry.
Okay. Now, does that number make sense?
No.
420.
Is that 42?
This is the answer 400. This is 420.4
Okay, why does that number make sense?
Because it's this. It's like this is big, so this is big.
Yeah, big angle, big wall. Last one, please. Define B.
Sin 32.5 over 228 equals sin 49.7 over B. And the answer to this one is going to be 32.63.
Alright, and does that number make sense?
And this makes sense, yes.
Yes. Alright, hey, very nice done. 2 clap. Alright, I need your names on your actual group work. Both, all of your names, not just one person's names in your group, and you're going to turn them in for credit.
Way to go.
Boom.
Cross his name out.